Over 2 decades ago, Marshall Mathers' career took off, and since then, he's been known as the one and only Slim Shady.
May I have your attention, please? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Eminem's music is renowned for its beauty, but his career also includes numerous clashes, not just with other rappers, but with famous figures from various fields. However, Eminem doesn't view these conflicts as personal attacks or driven by vendettas. For him, it's straightforward. If your name rhymes with a line in his song, you might become a target.
You know, it's kind of like picking names out of a hat, and if your name rhymes with something good, you know what I mean? Then...
Eminem fearlessly took aim at many public figures, including Michael Jackson, whom he made an entire video about, poking fun at his trials and controversies.
I've never met Mr. Eminem, and to have him, I've always admired him, and to have him do something like that was pretty painful as an artist to another artist.
It's clear that Eminem doesn't hold back and doesn't seem to consider anyone off limits. Surprisingly, there's a story of Eminem dissing a fellow rapper and then actually apologizing for it. It might sound unbelievable, but it's true. Now let's delve into the beef between Eminem and Jay, which sparked after Eminem released the music video for Just Lose It.
Pajama time. Come here, little kitties, on my lap. Guess who's back with a brand new rap?
During that period, Michael Jackson was facing intense scrutiny and legal challenges due to child molestation allegations and his trial. Eminem's video parodied MJ's trial, including lines that referenced controversial aspects of Jackson's life, such as his plastic surgery and the incident when his hair caught fire during a Pepsi commercial shoot in 1984. To me, it was all just a bit of comic relief and entertainment. However, Michael Jackson was genuinely shocked and disappointed by Eminem's actions, especially since he had always admired him. It was quite rare to see MJ angry, but Eminem managed to get under his skin. MJ asked music channels not to air the video, and only BT agreed to comply. Other channels like MTV continued to show it. In fact, MJ even called in on Steve Harvey's radio show, expressing his views that the video was disrespectful and inappropriate. While Michael couldn't get the video banned, he found another way to get back at Eminem. He decided to use his financial power, purchasing the rights to Eminem's entire catalog 3 years after the video's release. As for Ja Rule, he didn't have the same luck in seeking revenge against Eminem. Their beef started when Eminem signed 50 Cent to Shady Records. Interestingly, before that, Eminem and Ja Rule had been discussing collaborating on some records together. However, things changed after the signing, and Ja Rule wasn't pleased that Eminem and Dr. Dre brought in someone with whom he had a long-standing beef. In response, Ja Rule, 50 Cent, and Busta Rhymes released a diss track called Hail Mary, targeting Eminem. Ja Rule fired shots at all of them, including Dr. Dre, and didn't spare any major members of Eminem's family in his lyrics. One of the most notable jabs was directed at Eminem's daughter, Haley Jade, which struck a chord with Eminem. He wasted no time in retaliating with the song Haley's Revenge, and it was clear that Ja Rule was no match for Eminem's response. Eminem's comeback track effectively crushed Ja Rule and silenced the feud. Hey, Haley, have you thought about what you want to be when you grow up? It's fascinating how some people, like Machine Gun Kelly (MGK), used to idolize Eminem, and he's definitely one of many rappers inspired by him. However, things took a turn when MGK tweeted about Eminem's daughter, Haley, in a disrespectful way. You know Eminem doesn't take such things lightly when it comes to his daughter's honor. The feud started with Eminem dissing MGK in the song Not Alike, and MGK fired back with Rap Devil. He taunted Eminem's age and claimed he wasn't as good as he used to be. But Eminem wasn't going to let it slide, and he came back strong with Kill Shot, one of the most impressive diss tracks in a long time. Eminem made it clear that MGK was no younger Slim Shady but just a weak imitation. Interestingly, unlike MGK, there was another rapper who didn't have to switch careers after being dissed by Eminem. Tyler, the Creator, is a famous rapper who also grew up listening to Eminem and considered him an idol.
I looked up to the musical figures I like, so Eminem was one of them.
He used to play the Marshall Mathers LP almost every day as a teenager and praised Relapse as one of the greatest albums ever. However, in November 2017, Tyler had a different opinion about one of Eminem's new releases, the double disc album Shady 15, which led to some conflict between them.
And he dissed me on his last album. And I remember hearing
Why?
it.
Why did he?
Because I keep being vocal about shit that I don't like.
Shady 15 was a compilation album released to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Shady Records. Tyler, the creator, didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts about the album on November 27th. He expressed that, in his opinion, the album wasn't up to par, and he wasn't the only one with this viewpoint. Many critics and fans also criticized the album, labeling it as one of Eminem's weakest releases. The album received a low 2 out of 10 rating from Pitchfork. While Tyler may argue that he was speaking on behalf of millions of Eminem fans who felt that the new Eminem didn't measure up to the old Slim Shady, publicly criticizing your idol and fellow artists for millions to see might not have been the wisest move.
I was angry when I said the shit about Tyler. The fact of, like, every time I saw this kid, like, oh, he's so cool to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved his energy, like, everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was a funny dude, like, he's super charismatic and shit.
These days, Eminem's music sparks differing opinions. Some claim he has fallen off and selects supper beats, while others, the die-hard fans, recognize that his music has evolved, and the old Slim Shady persona might not always be present.
I can make a mistake and erupt and end up taking a dump or saying some dumb shit, thinking I run shit, misplacing my anger enough to give Earl and Tyler, the creator, the brunt.
3 years after his initial tweet, Tyler commented on Eminem's music again in November 2017, describing one of his songs as horrible. This time, he referred to Eminem's album Revival. The album was a conscious effort from Eminem, addressing topics like race, politics, gun control, and police brutality. However, many felt the album came across as overly political and preachy. Eminem took aim at figures like Mike Pence and Donald Trump, which wasn't the first time he touched on political subjects. But this time, the execution fell short, particularly with some of the beats chosen. The album lacked the raw, natural anger and aggression that many fans have come to love from Eminem, but one could argue that perhaps such an intense approach might not be expected from a 50-year-old artist. Many critics agreed that one of the issues with the album was the inclusion of too many pop artists. Despite selling nearly 200,000 units in its first week, the album was considered a flop. The track Walk on Water, featuring Beyoncé, was one of the first songs released from the album on November 9, and Tyler tweeted his thoughts on it the next day. Although he didn't directly mention Eminem, it was clear what he was referring to. In response to the backlash received for Revival, Eminem quickly got back into the studio and released a new album called Kamikaze just 8 months later. This album was Eminem's way of hitting back at the criticism, and it worked quite well, as Kamikaze sold twice the number of records that Revival did in its first week. On this album, we saw the return of the old Slim Shady, with the aggression and anger that many fans loved. Eminem didn't shy away from dissing numerous celebrities, including Vince Staples, Charlemagne, Joe Budden, and Lil Yachty. He also finally responded to Tyler, the Creator, who was the only one to eventually receive an apology from Eminem. Eminem mentioned Tyler on the song Fall, and unfortunately, his response included a derogatory homophobic slur, which is inappropriate to repeat here. Tyler responded by stating that he had no personal issues with Eminem but simply didn't like his newer albums. Eminem eventually apologized, admitting that he felt Tyler had been two-faced with him. However, in his song, No Regrets, Eminem expressed how much he regretted giving Tyler, the Creator, the satisfaction of getting a response in the first place.
Haley, what do you want to be when you grow up, baby?
I don't know. But I don't want to grow up to be like Ja Rule's little dirty ass kids.